going on, Jerome? It's a beautiful Saturday. Birds are chirping and stuff, and it's time for another Vikings news dump. So, yes, it is Packers weekend, and, it's the end of September. Going to Apple Orchard today with the kids. They always have a good time. But, I don't know, how can we pay extra to pick our own apples? I know it's an experience, but okay. But, yes, the autumn winds are a pirate. When is it going to cool down? I want to know. October? Why is that October and 75 degrees? Nah. There's a reason why fall is my favorite season. We haven't had yet. But your Vikings are 3-0, are looking to make it 4-0, and you're feeling really damn good. And, of course, the storyline of the week, the storyline du jour, that sounds good, I'll have that, has been Aaron Jones returning to the friendly confines, or rather unfriendly this time around, going back to Lambeau and looking to put the bang thing on the Packers. I'm predicting... So I said that Kevin O'Connell needs to put Jones on a pitch count so he's fresher late in the season, but screw it this game. Give him 40 carries. Give him the old Larry Johnson with the Chiefs workload. I don't care. Just go. Give him the rock like Priest Holmes. Let's go. Kyle Brandt, Good Morning Football. Aaron Jones was a great Packer, great dude. One of those things is correct. He's a great dude. If he scores for the Vikings, the national media jabroni haircut. Oh, Kyle Brandt, noted Bears apologist. Please. If he scores, when he scores for the Vikings in Lambeau this weekend, and he Lambeau leaps, bank vaults on the road into some Packers fans, will they embrace him or shove him away? Packers fans will be so drunk they'll still think that Jones is on their team. That's what I'm guessing. But also, subtle change in the throwback uniforms. The numbers, I feel like the shoulder numbers got larger. That's a really good-looking aesthetic, man. I love it. Some I also love is Jones and Ty Chandler in year 3 really ramped up the rushing game this season. This is from the 33rd team. Rushing rate success, Vikings at 47.9%. So you're gaining positivity and adding expected points. So Vikings are top 5 behind the Lions. Whatever. The Chiefs, the Bengals, as well as the Ravens. The Bengals, really? Really? Yeah, but it's not like the Vikings are too far away from number 1. And this is important because the Vikings' rushing game last year was very putrid. And if you remove Josh Dobbs' rushing numbers, the Vikings were last or next to last in terms of most running back rushing categories. So it's good for the Vikings offense. They have more balance. Play action is more viable, and it certainly is helping out Sling and Sam Darnold. Also, Jones, he got a little bump in his Madden's rating. So he got +1 going from 88 to 89. Love to see that. Something that you would have loved to seen is Jaire Alexander on the field on Sunday, but he's heading into the game as questionable. Jordan Love, I think Jordan Love is going to play, but that's whatever. But heading into the game as questionable because I think what happened is that new defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley, he formerly of the Bass and Calage Eagles, opened up that job before Bill O'Brien, is that, hey, Jaire, we need you to cover Justin Jefferson and or Jordan Addison one-on-one. And he's just like, my groin. We'll see. If he's out there, he's going to be a liability, and for that, we thank you. Somebody who won't be out there, unfortunately, is Ivan Pace Jr., second-year former UDFA superstar, missing his second game in a row. So he was dealing with a quad issue, rolled his ankle in practice last week, missed the Texans game, and now he's going to miss the Packers game as well. Kamu Grugier-Hill, the veteran, came in and for Pace last week and played great against his former team. Had the interception. Should have also had that fumble because Dalton Schultz did complete a football move. See, so first off, the football move terminology is not in the rule book. All right, it's just accepted nomenclature. But tucking the ball away, I feel like that should count as a football move. But even though the Vikings won in a blowout, I'm still mad about that. But Grugier will be fine. Also, probably going to see some Asamoah mixed in there as well next to Blake Cashman outside. How about that? Also, so we said Jordan Love is questionable going into the game. He was limited all 3 days this week. He was limited all 3 days last week before Tennessee, before being shut down. Now, if Willis is out there, another week in the offense, his passing numbers are whatever so far, but respect. LaFleur has done a decent job scheming open targets, but I think with Willis, the game plan should be, mush rush, contain him, play a lot of zone, make sure you don't turn your back on him because his running ability is what's really dangerous right now. Like I said, the Packers are having their Passionate moment over this last couple weeks. And if Love is in, like, his mobility is not going to be 100%, so just blitz the living daylights out of him. Just completely get after that ass. But either way, don't matter who's at quarterback, Vikings by 1,000. Someone who's going to be back as tight end one for the Vikings soonish is TJ Hockenson, Kevin Seifert, ESPN, who's not Carl Gershmidt, who's not. Vikings will have discussions over the next few days on whether they will open TJ Hawkinson's pup practice window next week. Kevin O'Connell said team is eager to get him back, but week 5 game in London is a factor. Of course, that turf is where Lewis Seen had that compound fracture, and a lot of players have complained about the tossers from Tottenham turf that they bring in specifically for the NFL because God forbid they're allowed to play on grass. Yeah. But Hockenson is eligible to return week 5 against the Jets in London, like we said. But he does have a 21-day practice window to come off the pup where he can be a full participant in practice without counting against the Vikings 53-man roster. So, as we said, I think what's going to happen is that they'll open his window. He'll practice all week against the Jets. He won't play, maybe not even travel. A bye week, he'll still get work at the facility, and he'll practice all week before the Lions game, and then they'll activate him right before that Week 7 game. So full-on revenge game narratives, and also seeing Dirty Kirby Joseph again. Bring it on, man. But also, it's amazing what the Vikings offense has been able to do without one of the best tight ends in football, and it's going to be absolutely huge getting him back soon. Also, speaking of the future of slinging Sam Darnold, Purple Persuasion, per Kramer of the Strib, he does not see the Vikings franchise tagging quarterback Sam Darnold after the season. The 3 main reasons. Number 1, the cost of the tag in 2025 is estimated to be about $42 million. Also, you can't flatten that out. It's a one-shot hit on the cap. 2, it's not even Brock Purdy like with how little they've leaned on Darnold through 3 games. Doesn't think GM Kwesi adofo-mensah, head coach Kevin O'Connell would do that to Darnold, believing they would want him to go and find the highest bidder and the team he wants to go to, which is really altruistic and kind of refreshing, but also it's really easy to want that for Darnold when you have J.J. McCarthy in your back pocket. And by all accounts, McCarthy is still seen as the future as soon as next season. And I do think that there is a chance that Darnold is back, but I don't think it will be just on the tag. Now, they can certainly use that as a mechanism to tag and trade him because they would have the capability to do that, and I think that he would be in demand given the nebulousness of the 2025 quarterback class. I think Cam Ward's going to be a stud, man. But I think that if Darnold is back, it's probably going to be like a 2-year deal, but really it's a 1-year deal in terms of where the guarantees are, and they could trade him after a season. He would still be in demand, although lots of teams are going to get in the Arch Manning sweepstakes in 2026. Also, it would give the Vikings flexibility to add void years in terms of spreading out that cap hit. There's lots of options. And there certainly could be a case where Darnold plays well enough that you just can't get rid of him, right? And the Vikings, I mean, talk about the rebuild. I mean, the rebuild future's now. I mean, the future right now is the present, and the Vikings do have a Super Bowl caliber team, and they could have a Super Bowl caliber team for a couple seasons with Sam Darnold. But like I said, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Only week 4, but we're gonna be wanting some more. But yeah, I kind of agree there. Something I also agree with is the Vikings. So Kevin McConnell, Kwesi, and the Vikings have been very adamant about building the culture, guys who are good on and off the field, and that's resonated over the last couple weeks in an interesting way. So Schefter, Las Vegas Raiders running back Alexander Madison. Did you know Amir Abdullah is still in the league? Awesome. Is the Week 4 NFLPA Community MVP after creating a VIP game day experience for 2 families in need, featuring passes, meet and greets, and a $1,000 donation for each household. So awesome work there by Alexander Madison, again, former Viking. But what's interesting is that each of the last 3 weeks, the award for NFLPA Community MVP has gone to a former Viking. It was linebacker Jordan Hicks, now with the Browns, in Week 3. And Week 2 was now New England wide receiver KJ Osborne. So, I mean, obviously these guys aren't here anymore, but it does speak to the culture and the caliber of players, of men that the Vikings are interested in on this team. And yeah, just in terms of paying it forward, doing the right things in the community, that's really awesome to see. Now, let's see a current Viking win Week 5. Let's do that up, man. Lastly, so in terms of examples of what not to do as players, in terms of the opposite of having a good culture, I need to give some props to the movie Any Given Sunday. and it was one of my favorites movies when it came out. It's still one of my favorites. It holds up 25 years later, and it's still, in my opinion, it's still the best football movie out there. And now you could say, is it over the top? Yes. Is it grandiose? Yes. Is it hilarious? And is the football in it actually pretty damn good? Yes. You could say all of those things. The performances are great. Hey, screw you, Godfather. Screw you, everything else. Al Pacino, this is your finest movie. Should have won an Oscar. Also, Jamie Foxx. My name is Willie Beeman, like the mobile quarterback that everyone wants now. I love. If Willie Beeman played today, he would be a superstar. Well, he's a star in the. Also, I love that there's a parallel football league. So the AAFA, Associated American Football Franchise, whatever it is. But they mentioned the Dolphins. So this is a universe where there are two viable professional football leagues, and also there is a Minnesota team, which they play in the first game, the Minnesota Americans. And it's implied that they play Minnesota in the conference championship game. And then the Sharks win, and then they lose to San Francisco in the Pantheon Cup, the Super Bowl, right? So, once again, the Vikings fall short in the conference championship game. How poetic. Oliver Stone, come on, man. Yeah, but, I mean, this movie was great. I mean, Pacino really got into it. And here's the thing about Pacino. Like, he could be in a jabroni movie with a bad script, but he's going to put his entire ass into it. Love that. Also, one of my favorite cameos is Terrell Owens. Who does he play? Terrell Owens. He plays the wide receiver 2 on the Sharks. Yeah, Sanderson is wide receiver 1. Plus, there's a bunch of like player cameos as well. Like Ricky Waters is in there. I think a lot of the coaches on the other sidelines: Dick Butkus, Johnny Unitas, Bob St. Clair, Warren Moon. I think is the coach on one of the teams too. Kind of awesome to see. Also, I mean, Lawrence Taylor is actually good. In terms of being an actor, like he wasn't wooden, like he delivered his lines great, and yeah, it's not much of a stretch because he was basically playing Lawrence Taylor, but it's perfectly fine. And also, this is something I just found out recently after the rewatch. So the guard number 69, Madman, the actor that plays him played Latimer in the program. That blew my mind. Like I probably should have known that, but it's also insane. I don't know, but I will say that I will fight anyone to the death. Like, Any Given Sunday is a fantastic movie. They should have made a sequel, but sort of is what it is. Anyways, you can see why the NFL wasn't thrilled about that movie when it came out. And also, they got to be pissed. So, I mean, Terrell Owens was an active NFL player at that time. He was a star in the league, or rising star, as it were, and he still was like, I'm doing this movie. It's fantastic, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. Saturday Vikings news dump. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.